Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles. I once went to Comic-Con dressed as Android 18, and with me, who looks exactly like his Krillin counterpart, is Harry Bowles.
Sensu Bean!
And with us, our very faithful Sensu Bean, Ben Sheridan. So this week we thought we'd do a slightly different format because it's a certain someone's birthday, Harry Bowles.
You remember? Oh.
It's Harry's birthday, so we have asked all of you lovely listeners to send us some questions to ask Harry.
Yes, some lovely questions from your friends. Happy birthday, Harry.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, how are you feeling?
A little bit nervous, so full disclosure, I don't know the questions.
No. My question to you is, Harry, what is a game you hate that everyone else loves?
Grand Theft Auto.
Why?
I never got on with it.
Does this stem from Grand Theft Auto 3 onwards, or just from the very
Do you know what?
beginning?
I had the old Grand Theft Autos, the 2D ones, where it's the top down. And I had them, didn't really get on with them. And then when the 3D one come out, I've said this in previous pods, I stick to my lane and I like my games.
You do
and
like
I
your
will
lane.
die, right, for that lane.
For anything Sega.
Yeah, pretty much. And I just hated the fact that this, and I hate to say it, but a quite average game. GTA 3, Vice City, the maps were small, they were clunky, the controls were shit. Like, fair enough, the radio was banging.
Oh, so
Right? But what I hated about those games is that nobody played them. As in, like, you would load up Grand Theft Auto 3 and you'd just drive around and shoot people and be like, oh, I got 4 stars today. That no one would ever play the game for the story. No one would ever play it properly. And I was like, what's the point in this game? You just boot it up to kill people for 2 hours. And now what I do for fun is I boot up Rocket League and play for 5 hours.
And you insult 8-year-olds for 5 hours.
I thought you were going
And I
to
will
say...
sleep with their mums.
And I'll join you.
I thought you were going to say Call of Duty.
Actually, but speaking of
I
which...
don't hate Call of Duty.
But also, speaking of which, I mean, I've known you, what now, 10 years, 11 years, something like that. I've very rarely seen you play a shooter. Thinking about, if I think back at, all the times I've been round or you've been round and we've played games, it's very rarely been a shooter we've played.
He loves Doom.
And if it has been
It's
one...
fun shooters I like.
And if it has been a shooter, it's been an older one like Time Splitters.
Yeah,
something
I
like
like
that.
Time Splitters. I don't mind shooters. I've got love for Halo. I've got love for Doom.
Yeah.
And then third person, I've got Gears of War.
Yeah, of course.
I love...
Splatoon.
I don't love Splatoon. No, that's a hot take.
It's got the best pun for a character with Callie and Mari. I think that's fantastic.
That's good. Yeah, I guess I'd say that and racing games are my least.
That's fair enough. So Grand Theft Auto is the massive.
It's the franchise I do not get on with.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question I have has come from a lovely young man called John Walsh.
Young.
Man. Lovely.
John is a very good friend who you bond with over a lot of music, specifically metal music. And so John's question is very apt to say, and I'm really curious the answer to this.
Oh, okay.
If you could have an old album fully re-recorded with present-day technology or band lineup, what would it be?
I can answer this for him. Venga Boys. He is
With the full Megadeth
He is
lineup.
obsessed with Venga Boys.
This is an easy question, though. It would be the And Justice for All album by Metallica.
Oh, good choice.
That album sounds like shit, but the album is insane. It's so good. I'd say it's the most underrated Metallica album.
When was that released?
88. Don't hate me if I'm wrong. Oh, Ben's going on to the Googles.
I'll check it.
So, unfortunately, the bassist from Metallica tragically died after the Master of Puppets album, which came out in 86. And they got their new bassist in, Jason Newsted. For whatever reason, as a mark of respect, they just didn't turn the bass up when they were recording. And it shows, it just doesn't sound as crisp as Master of Puppets. It doesn't sound as crisp as the Black Album. So I would like that to be remade.
If you had a band, a modern day band to cover it though, who would it be?
Oh, sorry. Do you know what? I think Machine Head.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I could think of one. It is Machine Head.
I think they would do it justice
Nice.
for all. And
Can I just check you're not...
You're proud of yourself. I'm proud of you.
I didn't even clock in. I just breezed past it.
God, we're so tired.
Can I just check that he's not technically a band, but you wouldn't have it re-recorded by Bill Bailey, no?
with air horns.
Yeah.
I mean, the Enter Sandman air horn cover is incredible.
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah, it's good.
It's amazing. But no, not Bill Bailey. Okay.
No, probably not.
That's
right. Close second.
John has asked a secondary question. If you could have one Pokemon but would have to live with you, i.e. not in a Pokeball, and will evolve on the basis of levels, what would it be?
I've had this conversation with our friend Toby Ducky, who I'm sure will be making an appearance later. It'd be Alakazam.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
What, your spoons would go missing?
Think about it.
He'd be playing mind games.
He can teleport you, right? You'd be like, dude, get me a beer. Beer. Go on. Rob that bank.
What a jump in morality that was. Get me a beer to rob a bank, please. What a jump.
What's the evolution of that Pokemon?
I'll take this. Casper. Gertrude.
Alakazam.
Alakadabra.
So he's the final evolution. So I suppose I'd have to start with Abra, level it up.
Then Kadabra.
And then I'd have to trade it, because that's how it evolves. And then I'd trade it back.
Who would you trade it to?
Someone I trust.
Who would that be?
Garden's World.
A dealer.
I know my guy.
The thing is, Abra can only teleport, right?
How handy is that?
But I think that Abra teleports for its own purpose. So I feel like you would be using him as like
Pokemon.
You'd be using him in like a legal situation where he's a witness for you or something, and you'd be like right at the crunching point where you're like, well, but Abra witnessed everything, and he teleport out the room, and you'd be like, oh shit.
Why would you need your Pokemon as a character witness? What have you done?
Also, they only say their name. So, they're like, Abra, what was Harry doing on the 22nd? He'd be like, Abra. Interesting.
Wow, that was racist.
You say that, but Ash can understand Pikachu, right?
No, but Ash is a 10-year-old boy and mental.
And in a coma, potentially.
Yeah. And also she has one and only
You must have seen the conspiracy theory.
No.
Yeah. Ash is,
in the first episode, he gets struck by lightning, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then the theory is that from episode 2 onwards, he's just in a coma.
So
That's why he never ages.
Yeah.
You'd be using Abra as a character witness, and they'd be like, "Sir, sir,
you've
are you
made
well?"
this scenario.
Why is he having a character witness? Why would you call a Pokemon?
That's the first thing I thought of. For
I
him
would
to teleport out to leave.
Plus, he can use telekinesis. He can fly me about. It'd be a great day out. Imagine going down the park and be like, "All right, Kadabra, mate.
Great day out.
Yeah, let's play some frisbee, but let's play it 200 feet in the air."
But also in this scenario,
That'd be sick.
But in this scenario as well, Harry is the only one to have a Pokemon. So when he walks into the Old Bailey and then Alakazam or whatever his name is walks in after him, I'd be like, "Oh my god, what is that? This trial is over."
I'd just like to clarify, I'm not asking you any questions myself because I feel like I know you pretty well. So I'm just
Okay, fair enough.
asking all the listener
I
questions.
would disagree, but that's just my opinion.
Who are you?
You'd be like, question number 1: why won't you answer your text messages?
That'll be mine when the birthday week comes up.
This next question is film related. Can you describe how beautiful the film Valhalla Rising was?
Is that from Steve?
Yeah.
Oh man, what a shit film.
For context, what is
We
Valhalla Rising?
Love filmed this film, right? This is back in the day where Love Film was a thing. You would order it and it'd come through the post.
Oh my god!
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Before Netflix was a thing.
Yeah.
So when we lived together, and we would just go on the website, look for good reviews, and order it. We wouldn't try and look too much into it because you didn't want to be spoiled. And the opening 15 minutes of this film is so solid. It's just pure violence. So the guys, he gets captured and he fights back against his captors, and he bludgeons this guy's head with a rock, and the camera doesn't cut away, and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. And the next hour and a half is just an absolute... Ben, you'd love it. It's so artsy.
Is it like a contemplation of the soul?
The morality of the soul. Oh, it's so...
You're right. This does sound like my kind of film.
Preachy. It got such good reviews because of it. I've tried so hard to scrape that film from my memory, but Steve just keeps fucking me, and he fucking put this question in because he knew it would rile me up.
He did say, I look forward to the emotional response.
I hope you're happy.
Question for you, Harry. Obviously, you're a big football fan. Support Man U as do I. What position would you play?
Left back on the bench. No,
that's a very you answer, actually.
No, I used to like being in the middle of the park because I used to love the running. But now that let's just say I'm the bad end of 30s, can't be doing that anymore.
Yeah, he's 42.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is from a chap called Toby Duckworth. You may have to think through this answer.
Okay.
Oh, it's just the
He's
parrot.
fucking like the Riddler, mate.
Oh, this is a whole essay. Well done, Toby. I'm impressed.
In desire of a quality entertainment, a multiversal deity decides to host a death match between 5 elite warriors from the cosmos and beyond. As one of the chosen, you awake one day to find yourself chained in a dark lobby. The deity, taking the form of Russell Crowe, appears before you and explains the order of the day. Why Russell Crowe?
He comes through a field of weeds to get to you.
You will soon be transported to an arena from another dimension where you will go head to head with 4 of gaming's most iconic anti-heroes. Shadow the Hedgehog from the Sonic franchise, Kratos from God of War, Mr. Mime from Pokemon, and Agent 47 from Hitman. The deity will grant you the choice of any fictional weapon with which to defend yourself, be it from a game, movie, book, comic, etc. Your opponents, however, will also be well equipped, aside from Mr. Mime, who refused to respond verbally when offered a weapon. Shadow will wield a Glock, Kratos both the Blades of Chaos and the Leviathan axe, and Agent 47 a length of cheese wire. As the deity has assumed you as the underdog, you will also have the selection of the arena, which could potentially work in your favour, with the sole condition being that it cannot be on Earth. Name your selections.
Holy fuck.
So you've got to choose the arena that you fight in. You've got to choose and the weapon you would
It's
fight.
like I'm being put in a Smash Brothers scenario.
You are literally being put in
That's
Smash
what he's
Brothers.
done. He's put me in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
basically.
there is also one weapon you could choose, and there's only one.
It's the Lego spaceship.
You son of a
It's the
bitch.
Zelda chicken.
It was the Zelda chicken!
No, I went with the Lego spaceship to wind up Ducky. Oh, one weapon.
And one setting.
I've got to be able to wield it. That's the thing. I couldn't be chucking the Zelda chicken in there because I'm in the arena. Therefore, I am at.
It's not locked in there with you. You're locked in there with it.
Literally. It'd be game over. We'd all go.
When you said you had to wield it, I was a bit afraid that you were going to say your penis.
Why?
That's a weapon. That's a weapon in its own right. That was going to be my next question. Why is your penis so?
Such a weapon.
Why is it a flight risk?
I would transport us to a world that is animated, as in 2D animated, and everything's going to be sketched. I will have a rubber as my weapon, and I will erase everyone.
For the listeners who may be here, we mean an eraser, not a condom.
For the listeners, I was not.
But
I'm going to bum all of them into extinction.
However,
Mr. Mime might have given consent. He doesn't say much.
He won't make a noise. I would not put it past Harry to run into an arena with a condom.
But what if you've transported yourself to this sketched universe, but they're all actual beings and all you've got is a rubber that you're wielding?
No, because we were all sketched.
So
you know, like the Aha video?
So you
and
would
we're like running like that.
The only thing I can think of, you would epic Mickey it, or you'd Okami it.
The paintbrush, magic
Yeah,
paintbrush.
that's what you would kind of Okami it, really. You would just create your own stuff.
If you slip and erase yourself. Oh, there goes a finger.
Maybe I'd get a pencil with a rubber on the end.
Oh,
Because
clever.
that way I could draw my own little, like,
Would you get a pencil sharpener as
You
well?
draw some stuff.
No, okay.
just get it right first.
God, you're confident.
What would you draw with a pencil?
A giant penis.
A
That's the answer you wanted me to say.
giant
Giant.
A giant rubber.
Yeah.
Actually, for people who don't know on the podcast, Harry's actually a very talented artist.
A
is.
mediocre artist.
No, you're not. He puts himself
Harry
down.
also
Harry's a
puts
very,
himself
very good
down.
artist.
All the time. What's your favourite drawing that you've done? Is it the one that you submitted to a magazine that you got published?
Yeah, I was in Games Master when I was 14.
You had a work published.
Yeah.
What'd you draw?
I'll let you have one guess.
Zelda chicken. You prick.
Giant penis.
Made the front page.
It was, of course, going to be Sonic, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
of course it was.
But was it just Sonic, or was it Sonic, Knuckles and Tails?
It was, no, it's just Sonic, and I did it black and white, so it was like graffiti style.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, because I was edgy as fuck at that time, I put flames behind him.
Nice. Of course you did. God, you're cool.
So fucking cool. That's pretty much what I put in the letter when I submitted.
I'm so fucking cool. My question. This actually comes through from a family member of mine.
Oh.
Actually, Mum. Do you have a tattoo? And if not, what would you have and where? You may not go where I think you're going to go.
So, I don't have a tattoo.
It's my face on his ass.
To remind me what a piece of shit you are.
Boom!
And he's going to get you on the other cheek.
Mouth open.
Happy birthday, Harry. I've always thought I'd get some kind of gaming tattoo. It would probably be Sonic related. Without getting too down, it would probably be dedicated to my old friend Craig, who passed away. We both grew up playing Sonic. That's where the obsession comes from. It would be a nice nod to Craig. Cool. Something that's not like over the top, a bit subtle enough.
Yeah.
But where would you put it? I think that's what I always struggle with tattoos.
I'd put rings on my nipples so they look like they were pierced.
Nice.
Oh my God.
And then people were like, "Whoa, you got your nipples pierced," because I've always got them out, ready to go.
He's never podcasted with a t-shirt on.
I refuse. It's in my T's and C's.
I'm amazed we have T's and C's.
This next question I am going to have to play for you.
If you could be any Transformer, which Transformer would you be?
Ooh.
That comes in from a very sleepy Joe.
I always liked Hot Rod in the animated. He takes over from Optimus Prime.
Would you like Hot Rod or Rodimus Prime?
Hot Rod.
Yeah, okay.
Because when he turned into a Prime, he turned into a bit of a bitch.
He went very middle management.
Yeah. The power got to his head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sold out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, I tell you, as a kid, is it Soundwave or Shockwave that had the cassettes? Soundwave. I loved that. Like, that was amazing. It would make sense nowadays. If you had cassettes come out, kids would be like, what the fuck is that?
Do you reckon when kids saw the Bumblebee movie? Because he's in that, obviously, with the cassette tape. They didn't know what that was.
Yeah, I wonder that when you do retro
That's
things.
really annoying, because if this had been asked for my question, I would have said the exact same Transformer. I love Soundwave.
Yeah, he's cool. And he's got a cool voice.
Yeah. I have no idea who these Transformers are.
Soundwave's great. He's one of the Decepticons.
He's got a bad guy?
Yeah. He's one of the bad guys. Because as we all know, all cassette tapes are really cool.
No, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Okay. They had a similar person on the Autobot side, but he was a Walkman.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
Oh.
No.
I try not to watch those movies.
The TV show.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'd stick with Soundwave.
Yeah, good choice.
We've actually made fun of you quite a lot on the podcast for liking Sonic because it's a very well-known fact that he is your go-to. You love Sonic the Hedgehog. Can you tell us why? Like, what is it about Sonic?
I think it's mostly the autism. It's because growing up, I got given a Mega Drive, and so Sega used to make consoles. One of the consoles, the big one, was the Sega Mega Drive. I had that as a child, and I remember playing it, and please don't laugh, but I was playing it on a black and white TV. It's not that I'm that old, it's just that we had a black and white TV that was spare, and that was my TV. But I used to play Sonic 1 on a black and white TV, and I used to love it, right? I used to love it. And then I still remember and I'm going to use it like Rush. When I was a kid, I remember plugging it into the downstairs, the main TV, and seeing it in colour. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, this game is awesome. Like, the character design I thought was perfect for the time it came out. They just made such an accessible character, especially for like the kids of that age. And my best friend also had that same love for the franchise, and we would be obsessed.
Yeah.
When 2 come out, we had to have it. It was the Christmas gift we needed. It was anything Sonic related. We had to have it, or at least one of us would have to have it, because obviously games were very expensive. And we didn't have access to money, so we would have it. So he got Sonic free, and I would get Sonic and Knuckles. So that between us, we had the complete game, and that's really where it stemmed from. And then I have to say, because Sega had a dip when they released the Sega Saturn, I then jumped ship to PlayStation. I didn't have a Sega until the Dreamcast come out. So I didn't play Sonic for quite a while. And then when the Dreamcast come out, and I played Sonic Adventure, which if you play it now, is a bit janky.
I got forced to play it
You loved it.
against my will.
You have to look at it from. I will defend Harry's thing because you have to look at it from the time as well.
It came out in 99.
The game is great for what it is. The game is fantastic.
Runs at 50 frames per second.
Yeah, that's mad.
I loved every minute.
Did you?
You like Big's fishing.
Yeah, no, I loved it all because it wasn't fast.
Yeah, but then that reignited the love for it. And I remember literally like buying Sonic Adventure 2, and that game was the last Sonic game on the Dreamcast, and Sega had given up on the market. And at the end, it was like, thank you for the gamers, thank you for sticking with our franchise. This is the last Sonic. And I remember being like proper emotional about it, being like, fuck, my favourite franchise is finished.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I wonder if Craig still plays it. And I went round and he was like, oh, how good is Sonic Adventure 2? Like, because we'd not seen each other for a while. And he was exactly the same. He was like, I can't believe it's ended, rah, rah, rah. And then obviously they went into the software market and hauled themselves out, and there's like 1,000 subsequent games.
Yeah. All of which you have owned.
Mixed reviews.
All of which you have owned and played.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the love for it, I think.
Nice. It has been a very integral part of me knowing you at least for the last decade, but it is a crush on my own. I think when I first met you, obviously Sega was in a bit of a
Dire position.
The franchise was in a bit of a slump.
Yeah.
And thankfully now it's getting
it's
going on the way up.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, thankfully you guys you've been one of the one fans that have stuck through the absolute chasm that it's been. Now you're on the
They
glory
are
days.
known, like Sonic fans are just thick-skinned. You have to be.
Yeah.
Just like Manchester United fans.
I used to think I was quite good with my franchises, but I've realised it's nothing compared to a Sonic fan. As soon as a bad one of my franchises come out, I'm like, oh no!
Yeah. So I think since we've been together, Harry's dressed up as Sonic for a birthday party, running all over the road, pretending to go fast when really drunk.
Mm-hmm.
He dressed up as
I was really fast.
He dressed up as Sonic and went to the cinema to go and see the very first Sonic film, which
was on Valentine's Day.
Was on Valentine's Day and got posted all over Facebook.
Yep.
And
of course, Harry.
People thought I was working. They thought I was working. I was like, nah, mate, I'm going to go see the film.
And of course, Harry has worn that costume on numerous love-making occasions.
Got to go fast.
How do you know?
Got to get it done.
How do you know? To round things off, I've got one last question before we go into our end section.
Okay.
So I need the top thing that has happened to you that was completely unexpected and caught you off guard.
Absolutely 100%. The most unexpected thing was when we went to Australia together to see our good friends. You stayed for 2 weeks, but I stayed for 3.
Mm-hmm.
So when we dropped you off at the airport to obviously send you home, we're at the bar having a drink, having a bite to eat, and this guy is just staring at me. And I was like, why is that guy just staring at me? And after about 5 minutes, he comes up to us. He goes, sorry to disturb you, but I recognise you. I swear I recognise you. And I was like, I don't think so. I'm from the other side of the planet. Like, I'm literally about as far away from home.
I couldn't be any further.
Couldn't be any further. And he just goes, Tunbridge Weatherspoons. You work in Tunbridge Weatherspoons. And I was like, I fucking well do work in Tunbridge Weatherspoons. What is happening? And he's like, I live in East Peckham. He goes, I've seen you work in the Tunbridge Weatherspoons. And I was just like mind blown. We always used to laugh that I couldn't walk through Tunbridge without being recognised. But you expect it in the town that you work.
Yeah, and you were quite high up in that pub.
Yeah, but in Australia...
And also the Australian airport of all places.
That caught me off guard. Yeah, that was funny.
What a laugh.
Oh, there is a second question of, do you miss spoons?
Do I miss spoons?
Do you miss working? So you worked for a very well-known pub chain for a very long time.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Short answer is no. I don't miss working for a company. I miss the people. It sounds super cheesy and I did an eye roll, but it was like a little family. Like I have met the core of my friend group and my wife working there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of important ties to that place. So yes, in a way I do miss it, but when it was good, it was great. But when it was shit, it was shit. And the trouble is that 80% of the time it was rough.
Yeah.
That's where we all met.
Yes, indeed.
So without it,
this podcast would never have happened.
Thank God.
No, God.
To take us out, I've just got some this or that questions.
All right, so this comes from the highly reputable Teen Vogue. Just these literally quick fire questions. So, waiting in the merch line or seeing the opening band?
Oh, merch line.
Sparkling water or still water?
Still water, I'm not a freak.
Maximalism or minimalism?
I guess maximalism.
Yeah. Mac or PC?
PC.
Shower or bath?
Bath.
80s or 90s?
80s.
Orange slices or orange?
No, 90s! Sonic! No! Dragonball!
I'm sorry, I have set your first answer there, Harry.
I was born in the 80s, so it's a tough one. Go
Yeah,
80s.
fair enough. Orange slices or orange juice?
Oh, juice.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
McDonald's or KFC?
KFC.
Board games or video games?
Video games.
Money or brains?
I don't have either.
Moving on. Warm blanket or a cup of hot chocolate?
Oh, blanket.
Serious or silly?
Silly.
Oh, yeah, I could ask that question. Art museum or history museum?
Art museum.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Glass half empty or glass half full?
Fuck that glass.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, cats! I know! I know!
Thought that was coming.
Oh, I know! I'm a cat person. If you wasn't allergic...
You said you were a dog person the other day.
I'm more of a dog person now. I am a cat person at heart.
Because Harry's loyal.
Like a
That's
cat.
all.
And Harry hates most of the people he works with. Funny story or one-liner?
One-liner. I'm just one-liner. I'm charmed.
Nice. Being embarrassed or being afraid?
Embarrassed.
Passenger or driver?
Passenger.
Love or money?
Love.
Friends or family?
Friends or family.
Teen Vogue has gone really hard with this.
Fuck hell.
So be careful how you answer because
Friends. You can pick your friends.
all right,
Huh?
I'm your family.
Yeah, but you was my friend.
Yeah, I know, but I'm on thin ice. So
You picked Ben over me.
No, you want... Oh, this is a trap! This is a trap!
now we're both mad at you, Harry.
Oh, God. Good job I don't care.
Rain or snow?
Rain.
Being too hot or being too cold?
Be too cold.
Money or free time?
Free time.
Indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Cooking or baking?
Cooking.
Bagel or a donut?
Donut.
Cheesecake or a brownie?
Brownie.
Or One Direction or Jonas Brothers?
Fucking hell. One Direction, I guess.
Well,
It's only because you don't know who the Jonas Brothers are.
breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Nice. Sega or Nintendo?
Oh, Sega.
Fair enough. I added that one in.
not on there.
That's not on there. I just want to catch you out. Lovely.
All right. So, on with the film review.
On with
With
the
a film
review.
review.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods. The events of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods takes place 4 years after the battle with Majin Buu, which determined the fate of the entire universe, aka the finishing point of Dragon Ball Z. Beerus, the god of destruction, is tasked with maintaining balance in the universe, and after awakening from a long slumber, he is visited by his mentor Whis and learns that the galactic overlord Frieza has been defeated by a Super Saiyan named Goku. Ecstatic over the new challenge, Goku ignores King Kai's advice and battles Beerus, but he is easily overwhelmed and defeated. Beerus leaves, but his eerie remark of "Is there nobody on Earth more worthy to destroy?" lingers on. Now it is up to the heroes to stop the god of destruction before all is lost. Now, for a lot of you, I imagine that was just a load of gobbledygook. If you had never seen the series before, that was a whole lot of stuff.
Can you put it in layman's terms, please?
Good guy Goku, bad guy Beerus. Punchy. The film is directed by, and I hope I don't butcher this, Masahiro Hosoda, and is written by the late Akira Toriyama, who returned to the franchise after a 10-year break from the series. Voice actors Sean Schemmel and Christopher Sabat reprised their roles as Goku and Vegeta. It was released in 2013 to good critical reception and currently sits on 7.1 on IMDb. This blew my mind. The budget for this film... Have a guess.
Are we going in dollars or yen?
It's dollars.
Okay.
So I will just... The only hint I'll give you is think low for the budget.
Okay. I'm going to say $8 million.
$8 million? $8
$8 million.
Okay, I will go 2 million.
500,000.
Shut the fuck up.
500,000.
Wow.
500,000. How much did it make?
My next question. How much do you think it made?
Loads.
It made about 50 mil, surely.
Pretty much on the money.
Wow.
50.4.
Oh!
And bearing in mind, this film had it didn't have a run at the cinema. Do you know what I mean? It was in the cinema for 4 days, and it's done more than Borderlands. Borderlands, take a fucking look at yourselves. It's embarrassing.
God, someone bought themselves a new car.
Yeah.
Maybe. Someone got themselves a nice dinner out.
He brought great honour to his family.
I can imagine. I'd be very proud of him.
So it was worth him coming out of retirement.
Yeah, and then some. But basically, the success of this spawned Dragon Ball Super.
Yes,
which was then the new, quote, 12-year-old.
It's a next-gen thing.
Yeah, it's the next chapter.
So just to clarify that this film sits between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, it is the bridge.
Okay.
So that was a lot of blurb, a lot of stuff. What were your thoughts? I'm going to go Ben first.
I fucking loved this film. I loved it then, 12 years ago when we saw it in the cinema. This was the first anime I'd ever seen in the cinema as well.
So had you been a fan of the show before? Like, had you
God
watched?
damn it, that's my question.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Did you have any idea what was going on?
Yes, yeah. It was a Saturday morning staple. So I think I watched all of Dragon Ball. Then Dragon Ball Z came out. Got through all the Frieza saga, best saga. Got through Cell saga, got through the Majin Buu saga. And then that was it for years.
Yeah, so 2003 was when it finished. So there was a big gap between the end of Majin Buu and then this coming out. So 10 years between the two. But I mean, it finished in Japan in the mid-90s.
I just thought it was fantastic. I think it was such a good return to form. I think it did it a lot of justice seeing it in the cinema.
And what did you think of it, Stacey?
I really enjoyed it as well. I'm not a Dragon Ball fan as you are. Like, as a kid, I never watched it. It was one that came on and I actively turned it off because I thought this was a icky boy show.
You were busy being social with your friends.
But, of course, being married to Harry means that I need to be interested in things he's interested in. So we rewatched the whole thing from Dragon Ball all the way up to including GT and Super. But we loved it so much that it made an appearance in our wedding, which Harry's already mentioned, by the way, on the TV show that he went on. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. But, yeah, it featured in our wedding. We had Dragon Balls on the table.
He punched you through the cake.
Yeah.
No, she made us.
Yes,
you did, didn't you?
Yes.
Pretty sure he was part of that.
I was, yeah.
And we did the fusion dance when we got, like, straight after the wedding ceremony, and the celebrant was like, what the fuck is this?
What sort of pagan ritual is this?
And if you see the photo, we were completely misaligned, so that means that we came out old.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed watching this again. I think I'm surprised by the budget because it looks so
stunning.
Yeah, it's really crisp.
I'd be interested in seeing the comparison to a Studio Ghibli.
I would say that this film, I think it's definitely probably aimed at kids, but I think it's that one where you can really enjoy it as an adult. And it's got really cheeky jokes in it that are really funny being an adult watching it as well.
I would switch around. I don't think it's for kids.
You know?
No, I think it's aimed for late teens, early 20s, that sort of demographic.
How did you find the shift from Dragon Ball Z animation, as in the TV series, to the film?
I think that's what I liked about the look of it, though, because this is very clearly a film. Like, it's not just a continuation of the series.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
The first, and I remember this still when we were in the cinema, the first Kamehameha he does round the planet and captures it again is fantastic. But you can just tell, like, where budget is just thrown into it again and again, especially the end fight.
Yeah, the end fight, I would imagine must be 75% of the budget.
I reckon took the most time. Look, we'll get all the food stuff out of the way. Vegeta does karaoke. Fine, whatever. Yeah. But let's just get to this bit, please.
Gohan shoots his pregnant girlfriend. What? Skip over that.
Oh, great! Thanks, Toriyama.
Also, I just want to say, excellent music in this film.
The Japanese Fallout Boy.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know what the band is.
Oh, no.
But
or Vegeta's karaoke.
What a banger.
Let's go, bingo! Now, as someone who's very good at karaoke like myself,
More from that.
I feel like there's a pivotal moment of that scene.
Could you really relate?
Yeah, in terms of style, embarrassment, and also just blacking it out.
So what did you like?
So I absolutely love this film. I picked this film for a reason, mostly because it was one of the 4 films I picked for the Kent Film Club. Plug. And it was just a good excuse for me to watch Dragon Ball Z, to be honest with you, because I've watched some sour films, shall we say, over the last couple of weeks. I wanted to watch a film I knew I'd enjoy.
You said you liked Air Force One.
But what is it about this film that you like?
It's the emotion that I have connected to it, more than anything. And I know that's such a stupid answer, instead of like, I like the art animation or whatever, but the emotion overrides all.
No,
I love this series.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad answer at all.
Well, I remember when it got announced, I was at work and we'd heard the murmurs of a film coming out, and then out of nowhere, I don't know if it was Famitsu or something, like a Japanese magazine that dropped it, and it was like, it's happening. And it had like 3 screenshots.
Yeah.
And it was like, who is this cat thing? What is going on? You know, and the trouble is, it got released in Japan. And it took a long time for it. Not a long time, but a longer than you'd usually get time to translate it from the Japanese dub to the English dub. So I won't lie to you, I watched this in Japanese first. I like certain types of animation, and I like the fact that they merged 3D with this, and for the most part it works. Also the crispness and how clean it is. Like the fight scene at the very end, albeit it's quite brief in terms of Dragon Ball Z standards.
Yeah.
It looks excellent, and the particular under the cave where there's a splash. And you see the droplets go up in the air. Oh, yeah. They then have like a 5-minute fight scene, and then the splashes drop. So what is 5 minutes in their time at fighting is over in a second. It demonstrates how fast they are. And it's little artistic touches like that, which I was like, oh, it gets me good going.
Gets me with good vibes.
Yeah.
I feel right there in my jellies.
In your jellies?
Yeah, it's what he leant over to me in the cinema all those years ago and said.
Fair enough. I got absolutely reeled in by Beerus being the bad guy again. So you think by now I'd be used to it after having bad guys that they make friends with at the end?
That is the true power of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the power of friendship.
Yeah.
And I disagree with
Apart
you,
from Frieza, he's a cock.
Absolutely. You could say the power of friendship is more powerful than a Kamehameha, but you'd be stupid and wrong. Because as we all have seen, it's much more powerful.
I disagree with you, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but Majin Buu is the best villain in Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion.
No, he's not.
But I absolutely fell for Beerus being really quite scary in this film. And at the start, I thought it was really interesting how you used to get a little glimpse of Goku, but it's more framed around Beerus and Whis before it gets into the main characters. But I fell for the scariness of it, and once again I was like, oh no, how will they solve it this time?
Well, the demonstration of power is in Dragon Ball Z. There's always the power scales where it's like, oh my god, there's a new villain, but they're always in touching distance. They're never like out of control power. Like Goku at the end of Z, he is the most powerful being.
Yeah.
Him, Vegeta and Gohan, they're kind of untouchable. And then this guy comes along and he takes Goku on full health at his max strength and literally kicks his ass in two hits.
It's 2 hits and that's
a
it.
Flick and a karate chop.
Yeah.
And he's done.
But they even say that as well. It's like his trainer system, you can't take him on. That was 2 hits and you're done.
Yeah.
That was it. I think I really like the villain. I really like Beerus as a villain because he's not a villain.
He's neutral.
He's just a guy doing a job, and they even state that in it. It's like he's not like evil. It's just
he's a janitor of the universe.
Yeah,
he's just cleaning up the trash.
He's just literally like, I have to destroy things. That's my job.
That's what
it just
I
happens
like.
to be you're there.
That's what I like about Majin Buu, is that he's just unhinged, and Beerus, he's not bad or good. It's just if he gets bored or he's a bit of a stroppy child, isn't it?
I love the fact Stacey's also wearing quite a pink jacket thing today, which is very much Boo pink.
Yeah, I'm representing my boy.
Yeah, and because of that, I'm also topless to represent
Frieza.
Of course, yeah. Great voice for Beerus as well. I don't know who the voice actor is, but he's so good in it.
The pair of them
Boo
are very good.
Yeah, Beerus and Whis. And I just,
Like, Whis is a bit campy, isn't he? A bit whimsical.
I love it. But I love the reveal at the end, which is that, I'm not the strongest one. Whis is my teacher.
Like,
and he takes
and
back
that
one.
is not even close either.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, you actually think, oh my God, he's...
It's the other way around.
Yeah. And
You think
like,
Whis
be
is a
careful.
servant.
And then he just asks many more questions. Like, well, hang on, if Whis is more powerful than Beerus, where's Whis come from?
Yeah.
I think, like you said, it does the power scaling in this so well.
If I had to do a little bit of nitpicking, as I have been, waxing lyrical about this,
Of course.
I think they could have cut just 10 minutes of the bullshit where it's like, we need 6 Super Saiyans of pure heart.
Yeah.
And then Pan turns up and she's like,
Yeah.
I've got a baby in me. And I was
Yeah.
like, that shit could just be cut.
That was lame.
They could have just done the whole let's join together.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
Yeah, agreed.
But to go back to what I do like, I have to say I really appreciate the care that was clearly gone into this. Like, they don't just do it for a cash grab. You can tell that this film was made with love.
Yeah.
It was made from a point of view that he wanted to do right by the series. So, like, it was famously only made because there was a live adaptation of Dragon Ball made that was so terrible, it almost ruined the Dragon Ball legacy.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, just out of curiosity.
It's well worth a watch, to watch it ironically. It's fucking terrible. Also, just a side note, that film, that terrible kind had a budget of 40 to 50 million. Compare that to the 500,000 this got.
Yeah,
50
wow.
million. 100 times the budget.
Yep. But yeah, this film was just made purely from the heart. Akira Toriyama was like, no, that's not going to be the last stain on my legacy.
Yeah.
I will right the wrongs. And he did. He really did.
I think what it does, which I really like, is that it's not like a side sequel where it's Goku going off and doing an adventure. It actually does push the story forward as well. So it pushes the story forward, but it doesn't ignore a lot of what happened either. Like, the Great Saiyan Man is in this, which is, one of the darkest points of Dragon Ball lore. But I love that he's in this because I love the point when he just blocks all the bullets. He goes like, "Jeez, they were real bullets. What the fuck's wrong with you?" But I love that I love that it's remembered all of that, and it's like, oh yeah, Majin Buu is there, and everyone else is there, and like, what's his name?
It even goes back to original Dragon Ball.
I was going to say...
Emperor Pilaf is in it.
Yeah, it actually makes the Dragon Balls relevant again.
Yeah, that's also true.
And it also references the planet Vegeta being destroyed and Frieza and things like that.
Yeah, ties it in really nicely.
Yeah. I'd just like to say that I have mad respect for Beerus being upset about not eating pudding. I think that's understandable.
I'd lose my shit as well if I didn't have pudding.
We just took away your jam roly-poly and you just smashed 4 of our windows.
I know.
Yeah.
Kicked the dog.
It's fine. You got like 600 windows. It's fine.
Also, when I was watching it, I thought it was prevalent to mention that Lord Beerus wakes up a lot like Harry. It takes him 5 alarms, but unlike Harry...
And a terrorist bombing. That is how I get up every day.
I'm going to say there are better ways to wake someone up than a massive explosion.
Disagree. It worked.
Fair.
But unlike Harry, he doesn't like baths, whereas you're all over that.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can knock out Harry with one karate chop.
I will do it right now.
Yeah, because he doesn't know this, but I do know karate. And I can't wait to demonstrate it at some point.
It's pronounced karate.
Sorry, very sorry. It's pronounced Kamehameha, actually.
Oh.
I don't know if you noticed this, but when Beerus is dreaming, he's dreaming about a pop star coming that didn't work out. Who do you think he was talking about?
Oh,
Pop star didn't come out?
No, so he dreamed that a pop star didn't come to the planet.
Oh.
Who do you think that would have been?
Lana Del Rey.
Why?
You were very quick to answer that.
Yeah, that was the first one on top of your mind.
Because of Heretic. I'm just thinking like Lana Del Rey's in my head. Swifty.
Swifty.
I think it was the Proclaimers. That's what they were singing about. They would walk. To Beerus' planet.
No, seriously, guys, if you listen to it really closely, it talks about Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I'm going with Proclaimers.
Yeah.
There is no answer, by the way.
Oh, you just wanted to... real to see.
He just says that he's waiting for a pop star to come.
Surely,
but he doesn't tell us who.
Surely, though, in that bit as well, when he goes down and says, I've had a prophecy here. Let's I'm going to show you, Whis. And Whis is like, yeah, all right then, mate. If you turn up and your prophecy person is a fish in a bowl,
Time to put down the drugs.
He floats, and I'll be like, I'm employed to an idiot. I've got to clean up all that fucking bollocks to the wreckage. He's doing it in the thing as well. He's sweeping. What do you do? What do you do when you're Weiss and you're just waiting, like, how long is it? Like,
It should be 40 years.
yeah, and he wakes up 33 years out. I mean, like, Christ, you'd be cranking it a lot. That's what I'd be doing. That'd be the first 3 years getting past the wanking stage.
Don't look at me, fish.
You knew this would happen.
Don't look surprised.
This is on
I'm
you.
sorry it went in the bowl.
This is on you. And
like
that pop star's not turned up.
I like to think that Weiss takes a diet in between his naps and then he's all about the pudding again.
Oh,
He's on the Weiss diet.
this, to be fair, that whole pudding thing. Right, as an aside to that, this film is great. It's very anime.
It's super Japanese.
It's so Japanese. There are plot threads in this that don't really go anywhere. They're just there to be a bit funny. Like, the stakes are all over the place for some of the characters. Like the whole bit with what are they called? The ones who wish
Goten and Trunks?
the ones who wish themselves young.
Oh, Pilaf.
Pilaf,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like Emperor Pilaf and all that. They walk in. One of the prizes is a fucking castle.
Awesome ham.
Awesome. What? You and Ace get third place in that raffle.
Oh,
It's
could
like,
you
I've got
imagine it?
Fucking ham.
Ben's got a fucking castle, and I'm going home with
going
some
for the
fucking spam. I know, I'm vegetarian.
But it's
up.
really good ham.
Hurry up here.
Throw me a ham, you scrub.
Jokes on Ben because they give him a castle but don't help him with the running costs.
Oh, God. In this economy. And it's probably grade 2 listed, so I can't change any of it.
It'll be a Weatherspoons before you know it.
Yeah, I'll just sell it on immediately. I'll make a profit.
I would also
Yeah.
say, I agree with what you're saying, that you could just watch this on a standalone. You will get more from it if you've watched it. This is
Absolutely.
a very good gateway. I'd say if anyone was on the fence about watching it, there is a lot to get into, and it is a lot to ask to watch an anime that has over 250 episodes.
Yeah.
But as someone who loves it, and if someone has, a gap in their TV schedule and they would want to get into an anime, I'd thoroughly recommend it. It's brilliant.
It is good.
This is always my first recommendation to anyone. Over Bleach, over like One Punch, it's always Dragon Ball because it's got such a legacy as well. And it's just...
It's heartfelt as well.
Yeah.
As much as it's known for punchy, it's got a really good story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really need to mention as well the deep lore that goes into this film between Vegeta and Bulma, because those are my two favourite characters.
Vegeta
obviously.
is my favourite character.
Yeah, can't not be. Love to hate him.
Also, Bulma is celebrating her 38th birthday. And I'll tell you what, from the internet, you can really tell.
Wow.
I mean, my God.
No, she wishes herself to look young at some point, doesn't she?
She
In
does
the
it.
future film.
Yeah.
Well, she was trying to wish herself like a bit younger, but not too much.
Yeah,
Not so it's
people know.
noticeable.
Yeah,
She doesn't want people to think it's surgery.
just enough. But I love that though. Like on that side, I love that the characters are getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember them when they were like, fucking, I remember Goku when he was a child. They're all there. Yamcha's there somehow. Don't know what he was doing. They're probably
He is the worst tag along.
he literally probably climbed over the fence. He would do what I would do. Lovey gets ready to like try and fight Beerus, and it's like, Yamcha, just
Lay
sit
down.
Sit.
You don't even have a name tag.
Sit.
Yamcha, we will need someone to, hold open the emergency exit door. If you could do that, and he's failed already.
But in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta and Bulma's relationship is just few and far between. There's a few moments here or there, and then nothing, and you find out that he's Trunks' father, and then again nothing that point onwards.
Because Trunks comes from the future, just to make it, not confusing at all.
And then it's not until this film, I believe, where you see him get emotional because Beerus slaps Bulma.
Great detail. He's the first person to manage to get a punch on Beerus, and there is a great moment when he does it for the first point where, from an animation standpoint, like you can see Beerus's expression change when he does it. When he gets the first punch, it's like, what is that?
Because he hits Vegeta,
Yeah.
and Vegeta tanks it and does the classic Dragon Ball Z turning of the face with the fist still implanted. It's at that moment you fucked up in Dragon Ball.
But I think that's a really good moment. Like he genuinely gets to a point where he can take on the god of destruction because someone slapped his wife.
Because you never quite know with Vegeta, do you, whether he does have a heart or not, and that shows you does.
Without going too far into it, though, he does sacrifice himself at the end of Z to save his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
No, obviously. Because Goku didn't kill him.
Yeah, bad father.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Goku, but still.
After all the emotional abuse he gave to Trunks, he did at least sacrifice himself.
Yeah. He's
It's a good job she's rich. She can pay for all that therapy.
Yeah, look at the second place is a castle, and third place looks like a really good ham. That's a premium.
Really good.
That's a premium ham.
That is smoked to perfection.
Oh, so
I want to know how people like Oolong, who is a pig, feel about that.
He has got.
There's my cousin
They're like,
Gerald.
yeah.
I wondered where he went when you invited him round. I haven't seen him since.
And his second place, not Gerald.
He's got he is the OG, and he's such a good character in this. I love
the rock paper scissors.
I love over the show. It's like no pressure. But this is your chance to finally be important.
And you fucked it.
Hey, he has the first ever wish on Dragon Balls.
He does.
Pair of pants.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What God, he's cook him and eat him. Oh yeah, and Final Fight is always amazing. So
Yeah.
Final
I
Fight
agree.
is incredible. It's
The transformation as well. The new transformation in Super Saiyan God. I thought it was very good.
the bit when
He's a bit leaner. The red, I thought suits him. Looks quite cool.
you're still doing there's still stakes in it as well. When he's talking about the cavern, you can see him go back to his sort of normal state. And they make a big point of that, but obviously Goku doesn't notice that. So you're then looking at it like you're back to base power level, but you're still able to kind of
Keep
hold
up.
your own in this.
It's like he absorbed the knowledge, the martial art
So
knowledge.
it's how is this happening? And just
Beerus describes him as a prodigy, doesn't he? He's like,
The red looks much better than Super Saiyan 3. That look is stupid.
no, that's my favourite look.
really,
You're
I love it.
joking.
it's a lot of condition.
Because it looks a little bit like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, I hadn't put the comparison in, but I mean, maybe.
Oh great! Now that crossover's happening.
There is so much interlinked between the two franchises, it's unreal.
Yeah.
If you look at Shadow the Hedgehog, the concept art, you've got the panels, and it's literally, there's a note on the concept art that says, just like Vegeta. Yeah.
God.
Oh, which is not because I really like Shadow as well. Maybe it's just those characters I like.
Yeah, edgy.
Yeah. Before
What's the word I'm looking for?
dark anti-hero.
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 Well, this has all been great, guys, but someone's got to bring down the tone. I did not enjoy Bulma's mum in it. I hate that character.
Blonde with no eyes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's thick as shit.
She's a trophy wife in the series, and they didn't evolve. That's one thing I will say. If you ever watch the old Dragon Ball Z, there's some tropes that haven't aged well.
I'm amazed Master Roshi is still in it.
Master Roshi, and he's still
exactly the same.
But, yeah, there was that moment where they're talking about Bulma's dad, and they were like, didn't you know that he's like the richest scientist in the world? And the mum comes out going, I didn't know you were the richest man in the world. I'm like, really? That was my gripe.
That was your gripe.
That was your one gripe.
That was my one gripe.
Okay. My one is like, what sort of catering company runs out of pudding?
To be fair, though, if you saw Margin Boo, you'd be like,
just cancel the rest of it. Stop. Just tell the chef to stop making it. Not a single millstream in sight as well.
it really took me out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, would you give it nan approval?
I would give it nan approval.
Like Goku beating Vegeta, it's nan approval times 10.
He's never beaten Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, so that means that you don't approve it.
I don't.
No, okay.
I hate cartoons.
Anime. Dad.
Yeah. Just take your Pokemon and...
Yeah, okay, so 3 nan approvals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unanimous approval.
Yeah.
Ring the bell.
I won't lie, when I picked this film, I knew it would get nan approval because I've known you two for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on to a little bit of trivia.
And we can't not approve it when we see the absolute light beaming out of your eyes when you watch
That's
the
just
film.
my command now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's throwing his back out. And also, like, how can you hate a character like Goku, who is the only person canonically to kill Hitler?
Gohan killed Hitler.
What?
How can you hate Goku? Well, absolute prodigy.
What?
You love that? Oh,
Yeah,
there's
seen
a
that
whole...
movie. Yeah.
Was it Genimba?
Jen the movie.
Yeah, Genimba.
Oh, well then I like Gohan a lot more. I hate that guy.
Well, it might have been Goten and Trunks. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I've got it in physical media. We can watch it
Fantastic.
at any
Let's stop
time.
this podcast and watch it immediately.
Should we just become a...
Janima review coming up.
back to back.
So, did you know Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, it had been so long since he had finished Dragon Ball Z to this point in the film. So, like I said, it didn't finish in 2003 in Japan. It finished, I think it was 98 in Japan. So he hadn't made anything Dragon Ball for 15 years. He had completely forgotten that there were different Super Saiyan transformations. He had to watch like a highlight reel of Dragon Ball Z to be like, come on, mate, you made it.
That doesn't surprise me at all, because from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z to the end, bits
characters get
forgets
forgotten about.
So
the tail gets forgotten about, and that never becomes a thing ever again.
Launch. The character Launch. She gets forgotten about. He even said that. He was like, oh yeah, I forgot she existed.
So all with the longest hair is Super Saiyan 2. No, Mr. Toriyama. That's the third one. Right. And that was Z. No, that was GT, sir. And what's the dragon? That is Shenron. What's the bigger dragon? Oh, never mind. All right, just forget about that bit.
And he took driving lessons?
No, he cannot canonically drive, which is ironic. And
him and Piccolo can't drive.
Yeah. And so he's it, and that's Master Roshi. Yeah, it would be better. I'm keeping him in. Oh, all right, okay. I guess
he wouldn't get past by today's standards.
No,
he'd get cancelled.
No, there's a lot of legacy characters that are still kicking around in anime for some reason. Most of Dragon Ball characters.
No, they're down. No. I won't have that. Every.
Oh God, it's got a life. Sorry.
They've all got them characters. Bleach has got that character.
I think
One Piece has got that character.
Oh yeah.
It's just a trope. It's a bad trope. They need to get rid of it.
I've seen Shokugeki.
Anyway, I told you about he made the film out of hatred for the live action film. In an interview in 2015, Akira Toriyama said he had actually written in both Beerus and Whis into Dragon Ball Z to be Dragon Ball Z characters before the run had been done, but he had fallen out of love with making Dragon Ball Z. So he actually just put them to one side. He just scrapped them just to finish it.
Really?
Which is mad, because he clearly loved it afterwards.
So these were characters that were already going to be established. Yeah. So they were going to be maybe after Majin Buu, essentially.
I don't know where they were going to be put in the story.
But they were already sort of created in his head.
I really respect that, though, because I think Dragon Ball Z could have been in danger of falling into the cycle of...
Just make it because it's popular.
No, more like it's just rinse and repeat.
It's bad guy of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New saga, new thing.
I think it's actually better that he had a break.
I agree. This actually hurts me that I didn't pick up on this. I didn't realise this. Do you know why they're called Beerus and Whis? Bearing in mind that there's always a theme. So Vegeta, vegetable. Kakarot, carrot.
Whoa.
Broly, broccoli, right? They're all themed. So what do you think Beerus and Whis?
My first thing for Beerus would be beer, but that's maybe just because I'm an alcoholic.
It is.
Oh, is it beer?
It is beer.
Beer and wheat?
No.
Whis would be whiz.
Ski.
Whiskey. No, it's beer and whiskey.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And also, this is a little interesting fact, which I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Beerus is the only Dragon Ball Z film antagonist to have actually defeated Goku and then not be killed.
And then wished back by the Dragon Balls.
And then become an ally.
And sensu being to micro.
Sensu being to fuck. Oh, I didn't know that. I suppose when you sort of go back through all of the timeline.
And he still hasn't been defeated. That's what's also interesting about Beerus and Whis, is that even after Super and however many episodes, 170 episodes, whatever, they're still the most powerful creatures in that universe.
Yeah.
I like that, because there is a ceiling.
But that's why I'll wax a little bit about Dragon Ball, but that is one of the reasons why I love that anime so much, is that it's Goku and, the Z fighters have always, and when they started to get into the big sort of galactic threats like Cell, Majin Buu, Frieza as well for a time, and Frieza again for the film, Resurrection, the Z fighters have always been on the back foot. They've never got to the power level. They always start at a power level and then everyone else is way above them, so they always have to try.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Dragon Ball. They always have to push and push and push to reach that power level. And when they get to that point, they think, that's it, it's done. But then something else comes along. As well, like Goku as well. Goku's first thing in this is that's a real threat. It could be like, what would he be like to fight against like what
He wants to test himself.
Yeah, and that's why I really love.
That's probably
this
the bit
series.
I dislike the most.
Oh,
But I think that's because that's quite a boy thing to probably want to.
maybe it's about pushing yourself. Do
I
the best.
like watching his adventures.
Yeah, your favourite episode is the driving lesson.
Yeah,
Dude.
loved it.
It's bloody funny.
On that note, if there's anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's our first anime episode.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, hopefully,
choice.
Hopefully more to come. Yeah, great choice.
On that note, let's KO Ken out of here.
Nice. Don't get it, but nice.
Until next week, guys.
We're gonna Dragon Bale
No.
Z.
I wish you would shut up.
Don't get it. Right, until next week.
We've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch all of our latest episodes wherever you get your podcasts from. Spotify, Amazon, other places.
The local Victorian boy with the papers.
Please,
The local bell ringer.
Your town crier. Anywhere you get them.
anywhere at all. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. If you have a question, something you want us to review, or a great story from your week, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com.
Yep.
Kamehameha!
Hi guys, and welcome to the 4th instalment of Ben's Facts. So far, we haven't been confronted by him, which means he's still not listening to the pod. Okay, this week, Ben Sheridan purposefully parks in disabled bays because they're closer to the shops. Because, and I quote, why should they have all the good spots? Find out more facts next week.
Ben, how could you?